What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be replacing the web in a 5, 6, or 7 series fuser. What we're going to do first now is we're going to take the top off of the fuser. If you look up here, you'll see that there's 2 black screws. If you look in the felt, sometimes it's a little hard to see, but you'll see an arrow pointing at the screws. And so you just go ahead and take those 2 black screws off first. And then just remove the top. All right. Alright, this is the cleaning web in the fuser, and we're going to go ahead and replace this one. And to replace the web, you will replace all the rollers there. Your kit will come with a new sponge roller and a new web. And try not to touch sponge roller with your hands, although we may have gotten a little dirt on this one. Alright, the first part here is there's a lot of E-rings to remove on this. Each roller is held in place on each end by an E-ring, plus various E-rings to hold these gears in their proper position. So first thing you should do is take a small screwdriver or whatever works best for you and start removing the E-rings. Now what I usually do is remove these back E-rings here next, because these E-rings hold this grommet in place, and then you can move your rollers a little easier so that you can begin removing these other E-rings. And then you pull these gears off. Now this first gear just simply comes right off. It's just held in place by that E-ring here. This next one, as you pull it out, be careful, and you'll note that it actually has a pin in it. That this gear fits over to lock in place. So you want to make sure that when you remove it, you don't lose your pin. As you can see, there are a lot of E-rings. Alright, then you go ahead and turn around on the back, remove these 3 on the back. There you go. And as you can see, there are a total of 8 E-rings on this. Now, you can go ahead and remove these spacers from your center roller and these one-way bearings. Now, the one-way bearings only go on your center roller, and if you'll notice, they have a notch on one end, or not so much a notch as the ridges stop. This is to indicate direction. So you want to make sure that you put these back on in the correct direction. Now, your kit will come with 2 new ones. Okay, now you can go ahead, now that you've got that taken care of, go ahead and take your grommets out. And you can go ahead and remove the old rollers. And we have a set of new ones here. And what I usually do first is go ahead and put the sponge roller in. And remember, this is the one that goes with your one-way bearings. You'll get a set of new one-way bearings that come in the kit. But you want to make sure that, of course, that you put them on in the correct direction. And the way to check this is that in your lid you'll see this notch that goes all the way down to and actually splits the case here. You want to make sure, see this notch here is right next to the brake. You want to make sure that your sponge roller will roll in that direction. If it rolls in that direction, then your directional bearings are on correctly. Now the next thing you need to do is go ahead and put your spacers on these. And you can go ahead and reapply your E-ring. I usually use just a set of needle nose pliers, but remember to be careful, it can be a little tricky. Alright, once you've got your E-clips back on, this roller's in place and it should roll towards this split in the case. So you want it to roll in that direction. Okay, the next we're going to do is now you have your web itself, and you want to go ahead and open the package and get your web out. Now the web itself, as you'll notice, is on 2 rollers. One is much longer than the other one. You want this roller to go in the front, and the rest of it will go on the back, and it will go over your sponge roller. Now the front roller is actually going to rotate when the top is on the fuser in a counterclockwise motion. So what you want to do is go ahead and roll up your tension and roll up your, well, you're not rolling up tension yet because your spacers aren't in, but when you do roll it up, if you'll notice, there is actually a number on the web. And once you have everything completely mounted, you want to make sure that you roll this up a few rolls so that you basically get to that number and you start covering it up. But go ahead and put your spacers back on, and put your front spacers in. Now for the back roller, you can go ahead and put your E-clips back in for it. This is all we need to do for the rear roller. This rear roller can be a little tricky to get your E-clip back on because of the angle. Alright. Now for the front roller, or for this long roller, you don't want to lock this grommet in yet because you still need to be able to have some slack in it so you can move it up and down. You can go ahead and, however, and put your E-ring on the rear grommet to go ahead and lock it into place. Now, on the front roller, still need to be able to lift it up a little bit. Make sure that your hole in your shaft is perpendicular. And then reinsert your pin. Take your smaller gear, slide it over it, onto the pin, and you can take your larger gear, slide it onto the shaft, and now you can take this and lock this one down. Okay. Now, you can go ahead and put this grommet in and put this E-ring on to lock the shaft into its proper position, final position. Okay. You're going to take your last grommet and put it back in here. Make sure it's seated properly in the front of the lid, and then put your last E-clip on. And there you have it. Now you want to make sure that your E-clips are properly set. They're all in there correctly. There we are. Now you can go ahead and you hold the lid upside down and it puts weight on it. You can go ahead and take up the slack by rotating this until your web starts moving. And there you have it. You simply take the top and put it back on the fuser. Make sure this gear section is on the end of this gear section, and at the front slides over in this hole. Now on the back you'll see that there's a pin here that sits down in this slot so that it will only fit in one way. And then replace your screws and you are finished. And that is how to replace the web inside of one of these big box fusers. Alright, so if there's anything else you need, we have a series on how to rebuild these fusers. This has been the section titled How to Replace the Cleaning Web. So thank you and have a great day.